So now let's talk a little bit about the criteria for task 2, which is very important. Okay. Speaking of criteria, okay, for example, in task response, those that I mentioned earlier there, okay, it includes fully answering all parts of the question. What does that mean? So there's task response. You have to actually answer those questions. Clear position. If you, for example, are writing an opinion essay, obviously you have to have a firm and clearly stated position from start to finish. Okay. And whether you agree or disagree, obviously you have to show your opinion and use arguments for that. Okay? Well-developed idea. So the well-developed ideas, right? Relevant explanations and examples. What does that mean? It's no use just saying education is essential. It's no use. It's no use. You have to explain why you think it's essential. And there are techniques for that. And the band score increases. The more the techniques and grammar are used, the more your band score increases. Don't lose focus. When I say lose focus, it's not going off topic. Okay. So we have techniques to stay on topic as well. So this is a tool called TELL. Okay. And it is actually very important for staying on topic, also for meeting the word count. So if you do not complete the full 250 words for task 2, you will lose points. Okay. Now for coherence and cohesion. Okay. Coherence and cohesion, what they want is if you use those transition words, those linking devices, those that we say like, however, nonetheless, those, okay? The paragraph must be clear, the structure's clear in coherence and cohesion. The progression of ideas, they must have coherence, they must be in a progression, okay? The references, that is, when I say reference, it's not a study or article reference. It's reference like using such as if needed, for example, if needed, and using demonstrative pronouns if needed, and so on. Okay. And don't get confused with repetitions. Don't repeat too much. Okay. And all of this seems like something out of this world, but it's not. In a short time, I can make you follow all of this very nicely. Okay. Then we go to lexical resource. Lexical resource means, well, obviously, it means vocabulary, right? All the vocabulary. So you have to show a range of vocabulary, okay? You have to show collocations. It's no use just using one word with another word from your head. No, there are collocations, there are academic words for that. We provide all of that. You have to paraphrase. For that, we'll have word formation. You have to avoid repetitions. For that, we'll use word formation, synonyms, and so on. Okay. And spelling, everyone getting spelling wrong, all of that loses points. So this range of information for lexical resource is very important. Okay. And lastly, we're going to see grammatical range and accuracy. This grammatical range and accuracy is very important. Well, grammar, for me, grammar, all of that is already within grammar too, right? Task response, coherence, cohesion, and so on, everything. But obviously, there are grammatical structures that the more you use, the more your band increases. So when I say grammatical structures, it would be like using a relative pronoun like which to give an explanation, using a passive voice, using a conditional, if I have money, I will buy a car. The conditional is very important. And if you bring, and the punctuation, okay? And if you bring these structures to your writing, and I'm not just talking about writing, but speaking too, if you bring these structures to your writing or speaking, you'll earn points and everything gets easier, okay? But I teach all of this using a variety of helpful techniques. And I also have my own book that I wrote, which covers all of task 2. It actually took me quite a while to write, but I wrote it just like I teach, step by step, step by step. this, and I'm putting it into our Hotmart classes as well. In the future, we will begin offering IELTS classes on Hotmart with video lessons where I will also be very present to personally answer your questions and provide support. Okay, let's move on to the next block and let's go forward happily and positively, because you really need to understand exactly what IELTS can offer you. Okay, so let's go.